So today is the official launch of our new theme song. And I am so excited because we have the songwriter, right? Bernadette Quist.
Both songwriters, because I wrote it after we talked about what you wanted in it.
Oh, I never even thought of myself as a songwriter.
Yes.
Oh, or at least
More
a
Wonder, baby. Avocados. That's you.
That is, oh my gosh. Hey, that's cool. I'm just going to stand a little taller. I'm going to be a songwriter today.
You're
a collaborator.
You're the collaborator, for
there
sure.
There you go. So, we just have a episode of creativity today, right? Yeah, so Bernadette Quist on song here, and Christina Morales Hemenway. I always want to say Hemingway. Hemenway is a writer, producer, director, creativity guru. So many words to describe what you do. And we have the new issue of Good Fat Life, right? Woo-hoo. So, which is so exciting. So check out the website at goodfatlife.com, and you can order a subscription, have it delivered to your door. You can get a digital copy, get it online, and you can go to Barnes & Noble if you're in the Livingston County area. So all cool. So welcome, ladies. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
My T-shirt, hashtag Get Real, with a movie. So let's kind of start there, Christina. So tell us about your creative process. And why would Good Fat Life listeners care?
That's a very broad question, but I'll see if I can bring it down. So for me, it's about the muse. It's about connecting. It's about just connecting to what's not there yet, right? Seeing an open field and going, I could imagine that happening there, right? And then just being open to the muse, spirit, however you want to, whatever name you want to use you and allow it to come through you to create something new, something that's never been there before. So I would say that to me, there's a big difference between performing and creating for me. And performing is more the act of doing, whereas creating is just opening up to allow the performance to come through.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I can see that. So you had a Get Real. Yeah. This is what, your second movie? Third movie?
Fifth.
Oh my gosh.
Feature film. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Where have I been?
Why? You gotta see the rest of them.
I know. It's like, why didn't I know about? I know about. I only know about the other one.
Bride Plus One.
Bride Plus One. Right. Yeah. So how did you? Let's talk about Get Real, because it's coming up, or it's going to be
it's from
screening in Milan, Michigan.
Yes.
May
or Milan, Michigan, if you want to call it that.
Yes, because that's a part of the movie, right? So, and I will say, and Bernadette got her acting debut in the movie, and she was amazing. It was, oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Roxy.
Yeah.
She plays Roxy, and I have a hard time not calling her Roxy.
That's okay. You can call me Roxy.
Okay.
And so I'll just... Quick story. So my husband plays my husband. And when Christina said, why don't you audition? And I'm like, yeah, okay. I did a little acting in high school and college, after college. So then she's like, okay, you have a husband in this movie and you have to kiss him. I'm like, Eric Quist. And I won't give it away, but he's kind of a slug in the movie. So I auditioned him with my phone. He was laying on the couch. Seriously. That was his audition.
But what I love about this conversation is that you never know, right? It's like, if you're open, like you said, Christina, to creating, we can create until our last breath.
Yes.
In ways that just inspire the heck about us and the people around us, and have so much fun.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
So true.
So for Good Fat Life, we had our holiday party we went to your premiere.
Oh, that's
And
right.
so
that's right. Yeah.
for at the Michigan Theater, and it was off the charts, flippin' fun. Everybody had an amazing time, and they didn't know what to expect, and that was part of the joy, right? Is because, and it was just so fun, and that is plus it's a good message. I mean, why don't you kind of give the
So the full title is Tommy Hollywood and Katie Encino Moved to the Midwest to Get Real. There are these two kind of clueless, airheaded Los
Wannabes.
Angelians, yes, and they are devastated when their favorite celebrity couple breaks up. And they were their idols, and so they're like, oh, we don't know how to have a relationship. So we've heard that, like, in the Midwest, people are like really real, and maybe we could learn how to have a real relationship in the Midwest. And so they decide to move to what they think is Milan, Michigan.
Well, first they decide they're going to go to Detroit because there's water there, and they get there
and they want to
like,
surf.
Yeah, and they're like, this doesn't look that cool.
Yeah. And so then they end up in what they think is Milan, Michigan, and it's Milan. And they get a schooling. They get a reality schooling. And Roxy and Betty are their first neighbors that they meet. And they learn what it means to really get real and how to be in a real relationship and what that means. And it came from the father of my children and I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so like 0 to 20, and then I was out in LA for 20 years, and then when we wanted to start a family, we moved back to this area, and so there was a real culture shock.
after being in LA, right?
There to the back, and so then coming back to someplace that I had grown up in, and with a different perspective, and so I felt like, okay, now I've been in each long enough that I have the right to make fun of. So we call it a mutually offensive comedy because it's like I make fun of Midwesterners, we make fun of Los Angelians. So, it's one of those movies, if you're very hypersensitive about about yourself, you might not want to see the movie. I don't know. But I hope that it's done in the spirit of love. And, to me, the most surprising thing was men who came up to me afterwards and admitted to me that they cried at the end. And that really just touched me because, the actors are so phenomenal. Joni Allen and Chris Dastios, I felt like I had Lucille Ball and Jim Carrey, right. on the set. It was like they're just great actors. And so I had no doubt that people wouldn't laugh.
Right.
But that they were so touched. That was the thing that really kind of surprised me and was really fun.
Well, the movie, I think part of, I don't know, I guess the whole experience as I'm thinking about it, it was like, so we had the Good Fat Life community there, right? Watching this movie, but the movie is about community, really? And so you think, it's like who your friends are and who shares life with you and all of those things. And it was so beautifully done, but it was hysterical, but it was also, there's that undercurrent of what's really important.
Yeah.
Wherever you live.
Yeah. And also it takes a village to raise
Right.
a child. It also kind of takes a village to raise a relationship, If you're in a vacuum, so we used to live in tribes. Right. And then so often now we're, get married and then you expect your partner to be everything to you. And so,
and it's not possible, really.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe in some remote relationship, but the truth is that we are tribal people and nobody's going to be everything.
Yeah.
And I think it would be boring if they were actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. So the movie has a lot of Michigan humor. So people that are from Michigan will really dig it. And what I was thinking about is the community thing. So Eric and I, we are in a euchre group, and we there's some euchre jokes in there, and it's like honestly, that's a huge good thing that kind of keeps us connected in a weird way. And it's like a group that plays cards once a month. But if it was just me and him, I'd be like, can we? Can we? No.
I know. So, but to that point, Bob and I like to eat at a bar. Yeah. And we like to eat at a bar. And it's because you always there's always people that are interesting to talk to, right?
Yeah.
And because it's like, well, you and I, we're 24/7.
Right. And sometimes it's more fun to like even talk to a stranger.
Right.
But they're in your town, so you have some connection to them.
Right. And if you're out of town, lots of times it's people that are traveling. You don't want to sit at a table by yourself. It just can be. So anyways, it's just interesting how that works. And
the whole, networking, that's an overused term, I think, sometimes. But like, I didn't meet Christina acting or having anything to do. I just had met her, and then I ran into her at the grocery store, and that's how we started talking, and that's how she knew that I was a singer, songwriter, and she actually asked me to. She's actually who connected me with that Big Sky recording studio, which is where I recorded the song for the theme song, and I met Sherri in that worst building where that printer that I used to work for.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's just
the
so
most
interesting.
random places.
Right.
Yeah.
And find creative comrades.
You find, and you just kind of know. It's like,
there's resonance.
I just know I need you in my life. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah.
And so.
Connection.
Yeah, connection. So, and even writing music, right? The song, as you're going through it, you had multiple people part of creating the music and to create the song, right?
Yep. And I actually wrote that. That's the song, the theme song. It sort of evolved from a song I wrote maybe 30 years ago when I was a district sales manager, and I was driving, and I wrote this song, I'm a Star in My Car, which Christina was in the studio when I recorded that. And I'm like, this kind of, I could put this into,
the thing.
Yeah.
And so
it's all
but that's
connected.
But that's really the creative process, right? It's like it's bits and bits and bits, and then you put them together, and that's what makes it original. So tell me about your other productions, your creative classes.
Okay. So we have Dancing Star Productions is our production company, and then we have Dancing Star Creative Academy. And that is an offshoot where we get students to come on board. And so sometimes it might be a class. So it might be like we had younger students. We had a filmmaking class one summer. But it also could be something where, like, I brought on an editor recently for one of our documentaries called Polyviews on Polyamory. And he is the one that
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, well, good. We should interview you because
I have no clue.
So it's basically all these different viewpoints on this subject matter. And so there's a person that I connected with that really wanted to learn about editing. And in the documentary process, it's a lot about just bringing down the material because you get so much footage. So I'm teaching him how to create and assemble edit.
Okay.
So that he's learning at the same time and then getting an actual credit for being an assistant editor.
Okay.
So
how cool is that? And so what are some of your other classes?
So we right now there's about how to write a screenplay. So there's videos on the at DancingStarProductions.com, how to write a screenplay, how to raise money for a film. trying to think of the other ones that are on there right now. There are a lot of different ones.
We recently did a little short, it was like a YouTube one about camera, just basically
camera angles
and communicating with performers about where, and where the camera should go.
Taking the shot.
And all that stuff.
There's all these things that you just never think about, right? So,
although I think about them up at night, I think about them,
of course,
or in the morning,
of course.
But
things that you just a person who's not in film would not think about, and could find fascinating just for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and to me, directing is more like conducting. So I feel like I need to know every single facet of every position so that I can direct. I started out as an actress.
Okay.
And so I feel like I needed, and then I needed to know how to edit, and I needed to know how to produce, and da-da-da-da-da. So now I know how to do all of the different facets so that I know if something is going wrong and how to lead it on course. But yeah, I see myself mostly similar to a city builder that then has to conduct traffic.
No, I can see that, because you have to understand there's so many variables.
Yeah.
Like anybody who creates at that level, you have to understand. And that's just so exciting. I'm just like, my brain's going a million miles.
And songwriting in a different way is taking a big thing and distilling it into something very condensed and small and smaller. And as a song, I'm writing songs. I've collaborated with different people over the years. The other thing is just also knowing what you don't know, and you're never going to be as good at something that the people you work with are. So I always find when I collaborate with somebody, whatever I thought of gets better. I wrote the song, I've written songs, but then when I get musicians, I don't play the guitar, I don't play the bass, I'm not a recording engineer, and so you have to also really take their suggestions, and if it's yours and you write it, but also it gets better when other people are involved.
It's like you're giving over to the process. So it's like your baby, and you're allowing other people to kind of help, foster your child. Your you know?
Right.
What do you call that? Not a doula?
You do. Yeah. I used to teach creativity and innovation at the college level, and that was one of the biggest takeaways, if you will, is that collaboration, if you really truly want to create, to have an open mindset and not be attached to your idea. At the end of the day, you still get to make the final decision, right? But if you can step back and throw out something, and then somebody adds to that, and somebody adds to that, it becomes this thing that's bigger and better for everybody. And that was kind of hard for students to not be attached to sometimes. It was like, well, that was my idea. Well, it starts. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
And then let's build on it.
Yeah.
But still knowing that the director or the songwriter gets the final say.
Yeah, it's my fault or my
my
praise or my fault.
Exactly.
And it's also so subjective, because there are going to be people that love my film. There are going to be people that hate my film. It's the same film. And so, praise or blame, it's about getting out of the way, because you're just there to deliver the message. And this is something I would love to we were talking about, it's never too late to create. That rhymes. I was thinking about, if Spirit, God, whichever you call it, gives you an innate gift to deliver, and you don't deliver it, that's like stealing. if someone gives me something and says, give it to you, and I hoard it for myself, or I don't deliver it, then the person that was meant to receive it.
That's a really lovely idea. I've always had the belief that if you have the idea comes to you, the ability to carry it through is also there, right? But what keeps people from doing that can be fear. Because it's like, I don't know how to do it. I'm scared to do it. I'm too old. I mean, we can come up with a gazillion reasons not. But I love the way you just said that.
Because what often happens is we then criticize, well, it won't be good enough, or it wouldn't. But that's not what this is about. Someone gave you something to give to somebody else. You're just the middleman. And so get out of the way of the praise or the blame and just deliver it.
Deliver it, right? Oh, I love that. That's profound.
And sometimes it's not. Sometimes something that seems bad, inconvenient, or a roadblock or a pothole ends up actually being the thing that moves you forward. Like, pain can be super productive
and cathartic.
Yes. I'm writing a song right now with some guys, and the part of the chorus is, follow the path your pain can clear to wisdom, because that's how you learn lessons.
Well, but really, when you start studying how things come about, they all come about because there's a gap. Right? Or there's a need, or there's a pain, or a longing. There's some reason that we're propelled into making something different, creating something that's just the way it works. Right? So if we can, to your point, celebrate the pain in its for the gift that it provides.
Birthing process, like the contraction
totally.
And the expansion, and then something is created.
And a lot of humor comes from
pain.
Crap.
Yeah.
No, and this is my favorite joke on perspective. 3 people are looking at a glass, and one says, that glass is half empty. And the other guy says, that glass is half full. And the third guy says, what's that glass doing there without a coaster?
I thought he was going to just drink it.
Or drink it. Right.
But it's so true,
But
right?
it's perspective. Even something that's one person thinks is bad, it can be, you could look at it a different way. It can be a step in the right direction, a learning experience, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all part of it. So if you have, if people are kind of feeling like they'd like to have more creativity in their lives, what would you suggest where do they start? Is it because we get in ruts, right?
Well, what I would suggest is going back to your childhood, going back to what did you do when you liked to play when you were little? What did you like to do? Because I feel like you're so close to source then. You're so close to what your initial contracts were maybe in life that, that's before you had the limitations. So what did you really want to do when things were limitless? And then figuring out, okay, kind of reverse engineering and saying, okay, I want to be a singer. I want to be a whatever it is. And who can I have mentor me in this? And, what is it that excites me about this? What is it that scares the living crap or whatever it is out of me?
Right.
And what do I need to do to get over myself to make that happen?
And that's another place where community comes into play, right? Because we would never say to a child, stop doing that. Stop walking or stop trying to learn to draw or whatever. There's encouragement, but we'll do that to ourselves. It's like, oh, I'll never get that. Blah, 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 right? But your friends aren't going to say that to you. If you have good friends.
Right. And then, finding what the, internal critic is. Like, all right, you were all good and ready to be the artist of the century, and then someone said, what is that? And then every time you start to create something, do you hear the voice? What is that in your head? So just finding out, how to clear that stuff away and have compassion for it and just do it anyway.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So,
and notice something new about something you thought you knew.
I like that.
So, really, I like going on walks sometimes, nature, or sometimes you'll be driving, you're like, wow, I never saw that house before. Or, you'll just notice something new. Mm-hmm. And I was just going to say, for a while, I was in an Artist Way group, and morning
so
pages.
Yeah.
Morning pages are good, where you just journal, or I don't know, quiet time is really helpful for me. And I like it first thing in the morning. I realized that about myself. I was like, it could either be reading something that's interesting to me that I don't know anything about, or journaling, or I don't know, just being alone.
Yeah, I've been doing morning pages pretty much every day for the last 27 years.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But when I read the book, The Artist's Way, right? Because it was just like that. It made so much sense.
Yeah.
And it gives you a great, safe way to explore creative things. But we all know that when you put that idea out there, it shows up. Somebody shows up that says, hey, I'm going to do this, or are you interested in that? Or, it just leads you to that next step.
You become more open to it, and then you start to pay attention to it. Yep.
Right. And then that reticular activator in your brain starts looking for ways to make what you're looking for happen.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful.
Yep.
How it all fits together.
And if people want help with the process, I have a thing on my website for like a 15-minute free call, just to help people kind of help them discover what it is that they want to go after, and can work toward a success plan.
Well, who knew? I'm so glad that you mentioned that. That's very generous of you, and great. And of course, Good Fat Life is. is our we spend hundreds of hours curating, looking for ways that people can be inspired and and encouraged, and see maybe what other people are doing, the idea, and we can support that, right?
Yeah.
So it's there's lots of support here for anybody who is looking. So that said, May 11th.
Yes.
In Milan, Michigan. And we will have
Milan High School.
High School. Okay, we'll have that in our show notes with a QR code to get all the information if you want to go see the movie. But you can also get the movie online, can't you?
Yes.
Okay.
DancingStarProductions.com, and you can see the other movies there as well.
There you go.
Dreammaker, Angel Moon, Bride Plus One, Get Real, and then there's going to be another one coming soon. So if you subscribe, you'll
hear about it. Right. So for our friends that aren't in Milan, Michigan area, they can watch the movies too.
Yeah. And may I just say a quick,
Sure.
So like with Bride Plus One, you can get it on Amazon Prime, you can get it at Apple TV, all over the place. But we get 50 cents per download. So that person will pay $5.99, but we get 50 cents. Whereas if they buy it directly from our site, we get that $5.99. So it's very helpful to buy it from our
Good
streaming
to know,
service.
right? And so we'll be sure and post that too.
Thank
you.
Because it's
Appreciate
important.
it.
It's important.
Yeah.
That same thing happens with musicians, like Spotify. You don't get much.
But if you go direct.
Support live music, and if you still have a CD player, buy people's CDs. Not mine. I don't have one. But maybe someday.
I just found my CD player. I thought that it had gotten tossed out.
Really?
And I just found it. And I was like, thrilled.
I miss like CDs in cars.
I
That was the
have one
best
in my
place.
car.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I don't have
Yes.
one.
I know.
Yes.
It's like
It's the best place to listen to a CD.
who do they exactly?
Yeah.
And there was just something magic about it.
Yeah.
Because you could listen to it over and over and
Yeah.
over, whatever you wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I mean, I suppose anyway, we
Yeah,
won't go
that's
there.
another subject.
But that's another subject. So, anyways,
Whole other show.
I'm so excited and thankful to our guests, songwriters and film producers and creativity extraordinaire human beings at Good Fat Life today. So, I will just say, go out and create your Good Fat Life.
Yay, it's never too late to create.